Guys, just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, please.
It's so much better.
Much better. Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, good afternoon. Now we can hear. Good afternoon, guys. Thank you so much for joining my live. And I have a talk show and it's called Open Talk Unplugged. And today's topic is gay marriage and religion. And I'm joined with Faisal, and he's going to give me his beautiful story up now. Faisal, thank you so much for joining my live. I really appreciate this.
You're welcome.
Yeah, let's get right into it.
Yeah.
Where did your love story begin?
Well, it started in two places. It started in Johannesburg and Cape Town because at the time, my husband, Devondre, he lived in Johannesburg. I lived in Cape Town. And in the beginning, we kind of did this long distance. We dated long distance for a year. And then after that, I moved up here. And then from there, our story just grew from there. It wasn't easy, but I mean, it just grew from when I moved up here young.
Long distance. How did you cope with long distance dating? A lot of people find it so difficult.
You know, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. I used to fly up religiously every second weekend because that was the time when I would be off and I would fly up here and I'd spend it like 3-4 days and I'd go back and then I'd see him again every second weekend. But at the most important times, like when I really needed him in that year, those were the times when that's when it became difficult. And that's when we made the decision. Either one of us is going to move up and at the time he was in his last year university. Yeah. So he was in his last year university and yeah, we needed to make a decision. And then I decided, okay, because I'm the responsible one, I shall move. Because he wasn't at that time to make decisions, you know what I mean? He couldn't make decisions at that time.
Tell me, Faisal, when you guys made the decision to get married, how was the response? Where you at? Hey!
Hello.
Thank you for joining me, man. How are you?
Let me get myself a chair.
Good, man. I'll wait for you to sit down.
Can you see both of us?
I can. Can you guys move the... There we go. Much better. Okay. Cool. So, when you guys shared the news that you're going to get married to your family, what was the response like?
Before you go there, let's start where we decided we're going to live together. It started there already. So our parents wasn't really supportive because my parents was like, what am I going to do in Johannesburg? I've got no family up here. Yeah. Why do I want to move here? And, you know, and, you know, a lot of other stuff in between. And then same with him. He's like his first year university. It's his first job. Why does he want to move out?
I think there were a lot of expectations outside of getting married. Especially with your family, it's more about you as an individual and what they expect for you in life. So there was a few things that they needed to adapt to outside of us being together. But I think what helped us was the fact that we showed them the love that we have and we were like fully committed. So it didn't take much convincing for us from our side. They could kind of feel and they could see what was going on. So they were all part of it.
So the living together was now okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So then we moved in, we lived together for 5 years, and then we made the decision to get married.
Yeah.
And it was difficult. It was very hard when we decided to get married.
It's like having that conversation of coming out of the closet
again
and having to approach your parents and saying, you know, we in that space where we needed to make the next commitment together. And I think, again, it's like a process for them to go through as well. They've just kind of adapted to the fact that we're together. And now it's like we taking the decision to get married. So that's like another step in the process. But yeah, we've shown them that it's a decision that we all make. And it's a commitment that we felt at that point was right for us. And I think like anything else, they come around eventually and they learn to understand. Especially if you don't live your life excluding them, but more so like including them and allowing them to be part of the journey and the experience that we've had together, which is quite a special thing.
Yeah, it is now. It was very difficult. I mean, when we made the decision, we never had the family support. Our family support, they weren't there. So I didn't know what they expected was going to happen after 5 years of dating, what the next step for us would be. And then, I mean, at our wedding, we had to make the decision to, are we going to have the family there? Or are we not going to have the family there and not get married? What are we going to do?
Yeah.
And we were like, we want to get married. We want to get married. And we understand we have to get the family in. And we also understand that they don't understand what we're going through and what we're doing.
Why is marriage so important to a 5-year relationship for the two of you?
You know, funny you mentioned that. It was a decision we made. We wanted to look. We knew we were going to be together. You know, at that point for a very long time. We knew we were going to be together, and we needed to make decisions on buying things together and investing in things together. So we needed to make a decision whether we want to just because, I mean, should anything happen, touch wood. I mean, we've built our life from nothing for the 5 years so far that we had.
And you kind of like wanted to mean something.
Yeah. So we obviously. So should we? You know, whether it was on paper or whether it was in our hearts, it just needed to mean something. And then we thought, you know what, the next step for us now is to get married, because together we're stronger and we can do things bigger if we're together.
I think the conversation was there. So a lot of what we were building up leading to us getting married was, you know, doing things together and having conversations together about our future. So I think the next logical step for us was to make that commitment legally, so that when we do buy a house or we buy property or whatever it is, we can do it jointly. And we were in a space after having built that initial foundation to say, okay, cool, we needed to make this next commitment. Would it open up like different other doors for us? So that kind of influenced our decision.
Yeah, it did. And also love, man. Love wins.
Yeah. We wanted the whole like experience of getting married.
What difference for me it was, like, also another thing is, what different is it for me to have those kind of dreams to get married and, you know, build a family and all of those things? Why can't I have that kind of dreams? Because I'm gay. You know what I'm saying? So that was eventually, it was going to lead to marriage. That was it.
And we extended our invite to our family, to our friends, and we left it to them to decide whether they wanted to attend or not. But we didn't want to consciously exclude anyone from our day, because that's not how, that's not what our relationship was about. From day one, both our friends and our family was part of our journey. And we've left the decision to them. So they decided whether to join us or not. And unfortunately, we didn't have any family members at our wedding. We only had friends. But that in itself
we had no family.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had no
family at our wedding. But there's a twist to that now.
What's the twist?
The twist is like now they accept us in such a...
Yeah, they do.
So now the family, they accept
us. They have like a bit of regret for not attending.
Yeah, definitely. So we've had side conversations, like my parents have come to me separately, and so has his, down, you know, showing remorse for the fact that they weren't there. And at that point in time, they couldn't see past their own obstacles around us being gay, because it wasn't about that. It was about the unionship and us coming together. And I think for any parent out there, having missed that like important part of your child's life or event in the life is a big miss for them. But I do appreciate that afterwards they could come back to us and have that conversation. And that is heartwarming, because that has brought us to where we are today. Where I can go into his home and I feel 100% accepted. And my parents, I mean, they're closer to him than what they are to me. My mom will like message him, and my sister will tell him a whole lot of things that she wouldn't feel comfortable telling me. And I appreciate that, because that's exactly what we wanted. It might not have played out how we thought it would, but where we are now, we appreciate that more than anything else. And that's
so my understanding is that the journey was not easy. I'm going to touch base on religion. So, Devin, you're Christian, and Faisal, you are Muslim, correct?
Yeah.
How was the conversation around religion with family, with the two of you, on how the family is responding, or just like religion in general? How did that affect the
Okay.
marriage?
Listen, so let me tell you, I come from a very, very staunch family in Cape Town. So, I mean, my grandpa is an imam, my uncle is an imam. That's from my mom's side of the family, and they're very, very staunch, and they follow the Quran accordingly. You know what I mean? So, it was very difficult in the beginning because my mother would introduce, literally introduce
I
Devondre.
would literally come down from like the top room, and his family would be downstairs, and his mom would be like, "Oh, this is Faisal's Christian friend, Devondre."
She would emphasize on Christian, but not meaning
To
any
make it
harm.
very clear.
No, but not meaning any harm in that. Is to make sure that my mom's family is aware that he's Christian, because they're very religious, so they preach and they speak about religion all the time, not to make him uncomfortable. But she would say that all the time, and he would feel odd, and he'd like, why can't I just be Devondre? Why am I the Christian, the Christian
I think
friend?
we never had that open
Conversation with my
so
parents.
she had different intentions, and I thought that I had a different perception.
Yeah.
And
Do you feel
those
like she was
two-
honestly trying to protect you at that time, to make it just very clear?
Yeah,
Probably. But I used to go to mosque with your father on a Friday. And when I was staying with you for like 3 months in Cape Town.
Yeah.
And we'd go to mosque on a Friday. And it was so nice to be part of that. And we'd joke around. His father would always say like, I watch you from the corner in the mosque, and then I can see how you watch everyone else when to go down and when to pray and make salah. And it was fun. Like we joked it
So you guys basically embraced each other's religion and learned from it and took the positive from it.
You know, Asim, one thing that I told Dee is that, I met Devondre as a Christian, and I met him, that is who he is, and he met me as a Muslim. If he's going to try and change me, I'm not going to be the same person.
Yes.
And that's one thing I don't
And
want
I
to...
wouldn't want to change you. Like,
Yeah.
I would
Like-
want you to embrace your faith, and
Yeah.
I would want you to do that in your home, because this is our house. So I'll show you what we've got. But our house is like,
Yeah.
we've got these in our house.
And then a poster of Jesus next
And
to
we
it.
have like a poster of Jesus. But to us,
And that's respectful and honorable, because you guys respect others' religions.
But that's where it comes down to, it's respect. I respect him as a person first, and I respect him for who he is, and what he is, and what he brings to the table. You know what I
I'm
mean?
gonna pose a question to you guys, right? And if you guys are ever planning on having a kid one day, a baby one day, obviously you'll cross the bridge when you guys get there. But have you guys thought of the path that you would want your kids' religious life to like filter through and go through?
Oh, listen, that's huge. I will raise my child very differently. I will raise him to the point where they're so liberated to the point where at the age of 10, they can make decisions for themselves.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So they'll make decisions for themselves.
I think what's
Please come in the frame, don't be shy. Put your whole face down.
Come to the front.
There you go. Yeah, there you
I
go.
think what's important for us is that when we do decide to adopt or have a child of our own, whatever way we choose, is that we don't change the lifestyle we have now. So, for example, on a Sunday, I will go to church, and sometimes Faisal will come with me to church, and he will have his own spiritual journey in church. It doesn't mean that he is Christian or he's going against his faith.
I had a lot of my Muslim uncles, because they're Christian uncles, that they would tell me stories where they used to attend church with their friends just to participate and see what it's about. So it's not a funny thing or an odd thing to do.
100%. And I think that's what it is. Like, when I go to mosque as well, I resonate so much with what the imam preaches about in mosque, because it doesn't mean that because he's Muslim, he only speaks to Muslims, or, our faith lives outside of us. And for us, we want our kids to embrace that. It's like, no matter in what house of worship you are, the fact that you're giving praise and you're spiritual is all that we want for them. And so I would want him to go with Fire to mosque, and I'd want him to come with me to church. And yeah, as they grow older, they then choose, or they don't even have to choose. They
They can love
they find their own way.
your path.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This hits home for me because I'm a product of both religions. My mom is Muslim and my late father's Christian. So I grew up being familiar with both religions. So I was always that child that was, well, my siblings as well, that was like, oh my word, where do I find myself in terms of religion? Where I found myself at the moment more spiritually in tune than more religious.
Oh, nice.
So that really helps for me. So
Yeah,
thank you for sharing.
I'm also a
you.
big believer in spirituality because I mean, it's all about the energy and the powers that surround you.
We will light candles at night before we go sleep, and then Fire will start off with like a Muslim prayer. Then I will go into Our Father, and then together we'll do like a prayer to give thanks.
Yeah.
But we want to break those stereotypes as well. I'm just so tired of us having to label, something and put it in a box when it shouldn't be. We're in a world where we embrace difference, and we it's all about being authentic and being yourself. So the only way we can overcome that is if we break whatever barriers we put up for ourselves.
Yes.
And that's why I prefer living the life that we do now. And embracing a child
A
as...
lot of people don't agree with, especially now, with being the month of Ramadan.
Yeah.
I feel the need that because a lot of my Muslim friends and family, it's like they come out to the woodwork now. It's like they always want to send me a special prayer and to follow this and to follow that. Why do you feel the need to tell me?
You
Do
feel like it's a bit hypocritical at this point with the only one
So why do you feel the need to tell me now what to do? Do you think I don't know what to do? Do we not come out of the same household? Do we not have the same grandparents or cousins? Did we not follow the same things? So why do you feel the need to tell me what I need to do and how I need to do it? I always get annoyed with that sometimes, but I mean, but that is where the religion part comes in, especially with gay people. They think we don't believe, and that is scary, and that is it's
like
it's
we're
so
automatically not going.
It's like we only being gay is only known for being a man and having a man next to you. We only categorize it as that.
We don't
stupid.
think of anything else. We don't think of having a life. We don't think of nothing. We only think about the next man, which is not true.
But that's it with us as well, right? So all the things about like gay stereotypes, it's up to us to break those stereotypes and show the world that how they perceived us for so many years is actually not true, and speaks to a minority within our group or within our society that's chosen to live their life like that, and that has made mainstream. But not all of us portray a life like that or live a life like that. And I think it's important that we speak up within our own community and break those barriers so that we don't have those connotations and those negative,
I just want to touch base on a comment. Marvin is wishing you both, Faisal and Dean, a lifetime of love and happiness, and he's just thanking us for having this conversation. So thank you for your comment.
Who's this?
Let's go down. It's Marvin.
Oh, hi, Marvin.
Thanks, Marvin. We appreciate it.
We wish you a lifetime of happiness too.
And that is the objective of having this conversation, is to create more awareness around the topic, because I feel like it's not discussed enough.
Yeah.
And it's not portrayed for what it really is. And I wanted to have this real conversation with you guys to highlight that, because you guys are living testaments of a gay marriage. So
100%. I see Candice is on here as well.
Who's Candace?
Candice Philander.
Oh, yes.
Hey,
Hi,
my
Candace.
friend, and Nicole.
Yeah.
is there any when you guys got married, was it more of a religious ceremony, or was it more of a legal, I'm gonna have someone legally bind us as a partner?
Yeah.
What kind of ceremony took place?
We had, sorry, I just see my friend Annaline. Hi, Anne.
And Roxy.
Yes, girl. Anyway, so we started, with that was a huge question for us.
Yeah.
Okay. So because religion was such a big part, because I couldn't go into a mosque to get married, and he couldn't go into a church to get married. We had an officer come out, and somebody that believed in the
And
marriage.
also why we couldn't is because we had a lot of backlash when we asked. So we did approach like churches and priests, and it was actually difficult for us to find someone to anoint our marriage and like follow the full marital like procedure, etc., etc. So it was tough for us, and we were with limited options, and that kind of influenced our decision as well as to how we were going to have our wedding.
Yeah.
But we had the wedding in Maboneng, and it was informal. But we tried to keep some of the rituals like the same. Like we had an aisle that we walked down. You had a best man. I had a best
Amanda.
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 Yeah, my friend Amanda. She
You
was
guys
like,
made your own rules.
Yeah.
so yeah, it was just like breaking those, conventional rules as well and keeping it us. I think that was the big thing, is that we felt the day, and we extended that part of us to our friends that joined us on the day, and it was special. It was a good moment for us. We still remember that day.
Yeah.
Like every
If I have, I'm gonna have to try and reconnect with them.
Okay, no, you
Guys
back,
are
you
back
back.
we're back.
Awesome. What you were saying?
So we were recapping on that.
So everyone just jumped into like, after the help. Like a few of our friends, they came together and they like done the whole decor for us. They literally set up the top venue for the reception. They done the venue where we would have hosted like the ceremony. We had a friend
we did host the ceremony.
Your friends showed up like family, eh? Wow.
Listen, we
like
actually did nothing besides book the venue, and Amanda and Carmen did everything.
Yeah, they done everything else. We had people like they made cakes. We had
Yeah.
people offering to drive us around, and all our guests were white.
Yeah. All of them were
And we were like in color.
You guys must please share photos when the lockdown is done.
No, you was in color. I was like, it's a no.
You were in color, you were in blue and white.
Yeah.
And I was in
Tell me, guys.
blue and white.
Yeah.
President D, is there any misconceptions that you want to make clear about gay marriage? Because I think people probably have a bit of a misconception around it. Do you have any misconceptions?
Yeah, the misconception, the question that everyone asks you, oh, are you really married? Is it a real marriage? Do you have a wedding?
Well, people tend to not respect our marriage because we're gay.
Because we're gay and nothing
So it's like, they don't regard us as such. And some of them would disrespect us either by crossing the line or having inappropriate conversations with us. And I think it's so uncalled for, because
what kind of inappropriate conversations? You want to like mention one?
Like they would, I don't know, they'd like maybe try and touch us inappropriately, or they would slide comments about how we look and how attractive we are, or just something that's completely offside, but in a way that's not really respectful. And we always thought to ourselves, like, how different is our marriage compared to any other heterosexual marriage? Because as a human, you wouldn't have that conversation with another married woman.
And what makes
me, it's like, why would you have that conversation with us? And so that's another barrier that we need to overcome. Yeah. So it's tough out there, I think, especially for us, because when we enter the world, we enter with a whole lot of labels on us, and we kind of have to push back, have the courage to stand our ground, stand tall, and speak our truth, which I think is important as well.
Yeah.
So more voices to be heard. And more stories to be told.
Yeah.
And more stories to be told.
Yeah, and more stories to be told.
If there was, I'm going to ask you guys a question. If there is a viewer that's watching, that's, how do I put this? That might have like, well, the courage or the dream of marrying one day, and make it okay. Like, what advice would you give a young gay boy or girl that think, you know what, oh my word, I don't have a life, or being married is not an option for me? What advice do you have?
Can I answer this question?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, so what that is, I want to tell that little boy that he is as normal as anybody else out there, and he can dream as big as anybody else out there. He can even dream bigger than them as well. But nothing is different. He's not different, and nothing is impossible for him. We've experienced, also, especially like in the workplaces and things like that, guys always tend as to work 10 times harder than the normal straight person because it's easy for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, but today it's changed. I like
And
this.
there's no stereotypes.
There's no stereotypes.
I always, like, I'm in corporate, and for me it was so tough, especially in Johannesburg, as a colored male from Cape Town, my accent, the way I look, and the fact that I'm gay. It was more difficult for me to really show them who I was, because I found myself hiding under so many masks, trying to fit in and be like the rest of them. And later I realized, actually, why am I doing this? Because my difference is what makes me unique. And, you know, that's important, because that's what people need to see. And that encourages others as well. So don't conform to what people expect of you. Create your own expectations, live your own life, and be proud of who you are, irrespective. You know, by fact of you saying, hi, I'm Devondre and I'm gay, that is how you choose to introduce yourself. You can choose other ways to introduce yourself. That shows more of who you are and shows your character. So don't limit yourself. Live your true value, and stand your ground as well.
And stand your ground. Guys, I feel like I'm gonna do a part 2 of this interview. I'm gonna discuss it. I feel like there's more that I want to touch base on. I want to thank the both of you for joining my live, and I really, really appreciate you both. And your story means a lot to me, and I'm sure to a lot of other people out there. So thank you so much for sharing.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
You're welcome.
Thanks for sharing your platform. It's so cool.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Guys, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll keep in contact. And thank you for sharing. And we love